Graffiti lettering, as we know it, has its origins actually in New York City from the subway system. That started a long time ago. Some say back in the end of the 60s or perhaps the 70s, when a lot of younger people would vandalize the trains of New York City. Eventually, the artists who were defacing these trains, they decided to try to evolve their style, and they would try to make it as interesting and as aesthetically pleasing as possible in order to get respect for their art. Of course, the city hated this of New York, and as a result of this, a lot of these artists would get in a lot of trouble or get hurt. It's illegal and it's dangerous, so I would never recommend anyone doing anything of this sort. However, the way that the graffiti style lettering evolved, a lot of people started to appreciate the way it could draw attraction to the areas. Eventually, these artists, they learned how to get permission for their art, and they would get commissions, and they would even put their artwork on canvases, and a lot of artists became famous as a result of that. Nowadays, we call them street artists. However, sometimes they're still known as graffiti artists. The difference between vandalism and, I believe, an artist is someone who has permission to do it, as opposed to someone who's doing it illegally, which, once again, we would never condone. Some of these artists learned how to take their message and do something positive with it. You could see some really nice ideology resulting from this, and what inspired me to do this video right now is the way some people are doing this street art with a very positive message that we need right now, which is safer at home. So what I would like to do now is give you a little demonstration showing you how you can do graffiti lettering and how you could write the message safer at home. We hope that you can practice this to keep you occupied, and maybe when you're done writing safer at home, you could do it outside in chalk with permission, or you could post it on social media for everyone to see. If you have any concerns or questions, please do not hesitate to ask people around you so that you have full permission to do this and that you do not get in trouble, which is something that we would never want anyone to do. Okay, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you have a magazine that you don't care about underneath your paper in case the marker bleeds through. Also, you want to get 2 pencils, get them nice and sharp, some kind of eraser, and some kind of marker. Hold these pencils close together like this, and you're going to practice writing your lettering. Try to have the letters as close together as possible, and for this project we're going to write safer at home. So you can see how I'm holding them together, and I'm going to try to keep them close. Sometimes in graffiti the capital and lowercase letters are reversed. I want these to be as close together as possible, but if they're not, it's okay, we'll fix it later. So if you look at it right now, it looks like a big mess, but we're gonna fix it. In graffiti, the arrow is a very popular icon. To do that in the beginning and or the end, just put a triangle like this. And then what I want you to do is close up all the letters like this. I wanted these to be close together to touch, but if they're not touching, you can make them touch with a very simple technique called piping. That's where you just kind of extend the lines like this so it touches. And now I'm starting to see it take shape a little bit. And then what I want you to do when you see how it's taking shape is I want you to kind of connect the outside and the inside lines, and then you're going to go back in and you're going to erase all of the inside lines. It might be beneficial not to press too hard on your pencil, so your lines are easier to erase. Here I can see it starting to shape up. The idea is just to have the whole inside hollow. And you can imagine that you are in a place where you are just kind of following these lines. And again, erasing the inside lines. I could take my time and I could do this nice and slowly, but so it doesn't get too boring in the video, I'm going to go ahead to the next step, which will be something that some of my more advanced students can get to right away. Once you can see how it's shaping up, brush your eraser marks away and just outline the outside line. Be very careful that you don't do any of the inside lines though. What I really like about this technique, it shows you how to do old school graffiti lettering, but it also shows you how to do it in a way that even though it's with your own hand, the handwriting looks very different from what you probably write normally. It also helps if you are familiar with the way the letters look normally to help you. And now I can see how this really is shaping up with just tracing the outside lines. And then I'd like to go over with a bigger eraser, holding my paper carefully, and just erasing all of the inside lines. You can go back in and see if you missed a spot. Other techniques that are very popular in graffiti lettering, this one technique they call flow lines, where you just kind of follow the flow of the lines on the inside, lines, and sometimes dots like this help. And these are techniques that don't necessarily have to be just for graffiti style lettering. For example, making it 3D. You can do that by having lines that all go down in one direction. So this is direction that all of the lines are going to go down on all of the points, like this. The inside will just kind of follow the inside, the outside line, if that makes sense. And then I'll just kind of go from there. Sometimes you might see it in some kind of cloud or enclosed space, and sometimes these lines that kind of look like quotation marks, different places, random dots occasionally, and at certain points, if you can just kind of put a bunch of X's and make it look like sparkle lines. And then from here, maybe you can treat it like a work coloring sheet and just color it the way you want. And then I thought it would be great if you could maybe copy this outside with chalk or post it on social media maybe our Twitter feed on Knox County Schools, KCS, or just wherever, however you want to do it. But I would really like it if people write safer at home and practice this so we can all be together soon.